What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Sophia the Lioness, man, coming to you guys on this beautiful day. And we're going to be talking about something that's going to be able to explode and build momentum in our business. Our whole team is about income, opportunity, and becoming unemployable. And the reason that we got started in business is to explode our businesses so we can walk away from our jobs, right? The goal is freedom, right? The goal is being able to have passive income rather than having to work for money for the rest of our lives. So one of the things that we have to get really good at if we want to start to make a whole lot of money and really start to kill the business are home events. Okay, home events. I know we're living in the age and the era of the internet, and webinars are always dope. Online trainings, online meetings, Skype calls, Zooms. That's the way of the future, right? But one thing that I think that as a team, as a unit, collectively, we have to put back as a part of our culture are home events. All right. So today's training is going to be about home events, why they're important, and how to do them correctly. Because if you get really good at what we're going to talk about in this training today, guys, I guarantee you your bank account is going to look 100% different by the end of this year, or in the next 6 months, or even in the next 90 days, because the events are the lifeblood of your business. So today we're talking about home events, and this is something you might want to take a second and go run and grab a pen, grab a sheet of paper. This resource is something that you can use not only for you to get really good at home events, but you've got to also be able to teach your teammates exactly what we're going to learn here today. The lifeblood of this business is getting people in a room where they can feel the energy. They can feel the enthusiasm. They can feel the passion, okay? They can feel the excitement. We've got to start to build a culture here. And you always hear us say that. It's not about what works. It's about what duplicates. And this training that we're going to go over today is something that's going to be able to explode your business, and it's going to make your business super duplicatable, because every single person getting into your business is going to be able to follow these simple steps for us to really start to grow and explode as a team. All right? So the first thing I want you to realize is that people need energy. Energy is contagious. Excitement is contagious. It's the most contagious form of human emotion. So what better way to get people excited than to have them sitting in a room where that energy is flowing through the room? Okay? This is the reason why getting people together for home events are so important. Now, if you're writing notes, I want you to write these 3 words down. Okay? Practice. The things we're going to talk about today, guys, you've got to practice. Practice makes perfect. Repetition is the mother of all learning, right? The only way to learn how to do these home events the right way is to practice doing it. And how do you practice doing it? Have some events. Guess what? When I first had my first home event, I was terrified. I mean, my heart was beating. I was scared. I was like, is anyone going to show up and am I going to mess up? But guess what? I did the event anyway. I was scared. I messed up, but it was all right. I survived. I'm still here. All right. I actually did it anyway, and I kept doing it. I kept having events. And actually, when I first got started with Novate, the thing that really exploded my business is when I was doing home events. And that's why I'm like, it's so important for us to get back to the basics. We can't allow technology to replace, the grassroots. And these events are what's going to build your business and explode and build momentum, in your local area. And if you're trying to get paid, guys, if you just want to make an extra $100 a month, then maybe home events, you don't have to do them. But if you're like me and some of you guys I know watching this video, you want to make thousands of dollars, right? You never want to work a job again in your life. You want to retire your parents, right? You've got to start to practice and get really good at home events to really explode your business. Here's something to write down. Practice, okay? You've got to practice. The second thing you need is structure. And throughout this training today, I'm going to go over the structure of how to do a great event. Okay, how to do the events so that your events are organized and they're flowing and they're duplicatable. So that's the third word you want to write, is duplicate. So on your sheet of paper, you should have practice, structure, and duplicate. Okay? Practice, structure, and duplicate. Guys, y'all ever heard IPA? And I'm not talking about the beer, right? IPA is an income-producing activity. And meetings, home events, home meetings, they're income-producing activities. See, a lot of times, a lot of people are working their business and they say they're busy. But busy doing what? One of the things my mentor said that really stuck with me, he said, Sophie, you cannot be busy and broke. Okay? You can't be busy and broke. There's a major difference between being busy and being productive. And you want to make sure that in your schedule when you look at your plan for the day, or you look at your plan for the week, or the plan for the month, you want to make sure that you've got some income producing activities there. You really should have more IPAs, right, or income producing activities on your schedule than non-income producing activities. And that's one of the reasons why, scheduling your days, scheduling your week in advance, it allows you to see at a glance how much income producing activities you have and how many non-income producing activities you have. So meetings, home meetings, guys, are income producing activities. I want y'all to write this down. The 5 M's of network marketing, okay? The 5 M's. It's really, really simple. And I want you to make this almost like a mantra. This has to be embedded in the culture of our team here at IOU. More meetings means more money. More meetings means more money. More meetings means more momentum. More meetings means more everything. So let's get that stuck. I need someone to drop that in the comments for me, okay? More meetings means more money. So if you want to make more money in your business than you're currently making, you want to have more meetings, all right? More meetings means more money. One thing that really, got me to get over my fear of public speaking was the fact that statistics show that the people in the front of the room are the people making the most money. The people doing the presentations were the people making the most money. The people hosting the events were the people making the most money. And I realized that I got involved in business to make money, right? I didn't get in business just for something to do. I got in business to make more money. And if more meetings means more money, guess what you got to do? You got to do more meetings. So you want to make sure that you're having meetings. And I'm going to go over the next few minutes exactly what you need and how to do them. And guys, this is super simple. We're going to have the most simple system and the most simple structure for home meetings than you've ever seen. You're going to realize that you can start doing this right now. You're going to realize that this is so simple and so duplicatable that every single person in your team can host their first home meeting in their first week of getting started. Okay, that's the culture that we're going to create. That every new person in your first 2 weeks of getting started, you should have your first home meeting scheduled or hosted. All right? Who want to make some money? The people hosting meetings are making more money. Why? Because more meetings means more money. All right? So remember, guys, that's why these home meetings are so important. Now, over the next few minutes, I'm going to go over the structure of how to host these home meetings. Okay? It's really simple. It's going to be life-changing when you realize how simple this is. And I don't want you guys to get caught up in the things that don't matter. Like, oh, my house ain't big, or, oh, my house ain't super. Nah, guess what? One of the things, one of our mentors, and actually our CEO of Nove, when he started his business, right? He was broke as a joke, and he was living in a one-bedroom apartment with a black and white TV that was on the floor, not even on a TV stand, and he had a couch. But that didn't stop him from inviting people to share the plan on that black and white TV. Now, think about it. Now he's a multi-millionaire because he didn't allow minor things to help him make major excuses. Remember, we got to stop minoring in major things and start majoring in major things. And more meetings means more money, so don't make excuses as to why you cannot do these meetings, okay? All you need is a roof over your shoulder, over your head, and a TV to connect your laptop or your phone to, and you can do a meeting, okay? This doesn't have to be super fancy, and I'm going to show you the 5 things you need to have in place to have an effective meeting, okay? Guys, I hope you're writing these down, because remember, leaders are note takers, okay? People who make money take notes. So I hope you're taking notes. And if you're not in a position right now because you're driving or something, make sure you watch this replay and take notes, because this is the lifeblood of your business. All right, so we got to take this serious. So the first thing you want to be able to have a home meeting, guys, is you just need a clean environment. You want to make sure your house is clean, okay? You want to make sure, wherever you're going to do this meeting is clean. If you're going to just have everyone in the living room, in the basement, on the patio, wherever you're doing your meeting, make sure it's clean. Make sure there's no dishes, there's no trash. You want to make sure it's a welcoming environment. All right? You want to make sure you light a little candle, make sure it smells good, okay? But make sure you're in a clean environment. The second thing you need is some snacks and drinks. Now, guys, when I say snacks and drinks, I don't mean go and ball out. Get some water, okay? Maybe some soda. We usually recommend clear drinks, because if someone happens to have an accident, you're not going to ruin your house, right? We don't want to have red juice or anything, because if a spill happens, you don't want to be upset because you just ruined your carpet. So water is always good, okay? And snacks is things like chips, pretzels, nothing expensive. Here's why. Because this has to be duplicatable. You want it to be where your meeting costs you $5 to have, $10 max, because everyone can duplicate that. You don't want to get fancy and start doing hot dogs, steaks, and burgers. You know why? Because the people coming into your business are going to feel like they got to have hot dogs, steaks, and burgers. All right? So keep it simple. Water, chips, pretzels, that's all you need, okay? You just want to have some basics. Keep it super simple, millionaires. All right? So you want to have a clean environment. You want to make sure you got some snacks and some drinks, water and chips. You want to have music, okay? You need to have music. You want to have music playing. Why? Because that sets the vibe, guys. Think about it. The most awkward thing is if you're invited somewhere and you walk into a room and it's just completely silent. You're like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? So you want to have some type of music, okay? You want to have music playing. You want to have music playing as soon as they enter the door until the first speaker goes to start speaking. So the entire time you're setting the mood, okay? You're setting the vibe. All right, make sure you're not playing no hardcore rap with cussing, okay, because we are professionals. So you want to play some chill music, maybe some, house music, some jazz music. You can play some instrumental, but nothing with cussing that's going to offend people, because you're inviting people from all walks of life. So you don't want to have something that's offensive, okay? But you do want to have music playing, because when your guests start to arrive, regardless if it's one person or 10 people, you want the vibe to be right where they can start to socialize and, grab a water and start eating some chips. And you want to set that vibe. And that's what the music does, which leads into the next thing. You want to have good vibes, okay? You want to have good vibes. You want to make sure if you're hosting your home event, as your guests arrive, you're the one walking around, welcoming everyone, complimenting them, thanking them for coming. Okay, you wanna make sure that you're making people super comfortable when they get there. You wanna tell them, listen, go ahead and help yourself to some snacks. Have a seat wherever you like. You wanna be that person. You're the host, so you've got to make your guests comfortable. This is gonna help to build the culture, because no one wants to get involved with something where they feel like it's snooty and stuck up and boring. So the music, your vibe is going to attract your tribe. You're going to allow people to know that this is cool. They're cool peoples, all right? As you go ahead and start welcoming your guests and shaking hands and, introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Sophia. Thanks for coming. Hi, nice shoes you got on. You want to be genuine, but you want to compliment. You want to break the ice. You want to make people comfortable. This is going to help you to build likability, because people got to know you, like you, and trust you in order to spend money with you, okay? So you got to be likable, and that's what this does. The final thing you want to do, or the final requirement for your home meeting, is you want to make sure that you connect your laptop to the TV. Connect your laptop. If you got a smartphone and you know how to Bluetooth your phone with your smart TV, all you want to do is you want to make sure that you have something where you can visually present the information. Here's why. 80% of people are visual learners. Okay, people can hear you talk, but they're not gonna retain more than 15% of the information. But if they can physically see it and follow along, guys, it helps. All right, because at this event, we're gonna show you that you're gonna be able to show people, because people see it to believe it, right? Most people got to see it to believe it. So by you being able to show them on screen is going to help to build their engagement, okay? And they're going to retain more of the information. So before we move on, what's the first thing you need? A clean environment. You just want to have some basic snacks and drinks, okay? You want to have music playing, good vibes, all right? Good energy. And you want to connect your laptop to the TV. Here's one rule, guys. If you invite 50 people and only 2 show up, don't let the 2 who show up know that you invited more people. It's cool, okay? Don't ever mention that, more people were supposed to show up and they didn't. No, because you're going to make the few people who did show up feel like losers for coming. Never focus on the people who didn't show up. You only focus on the ones that do, all right? So make sure you keep that in mind, all right? Another thing to keep in mind, at the home event, you always want to promote the next event. But you never want to tell your prospects when you're inviting them that there's going to be a next event. Here's why. Because they ain't going to come, because they feel like they can always catch the next one. So you want to always, leverage the event you're at to book the next meeting. Remember? Book a meeting from a meeting. Bam, fam. So at this event, you're always going to be promoting the next event, because that's going to allow them to invite their friends, okay? That's going to allow them to share with their friends that they were at this really cool spot with some cool people, had some good time, and learned about how to make some money. This grows culture. What you also want to be doing at your meeting is create the culture of, Snapchatting, Instagramming while you're at your event. This allows you to be offline building your business, but you're actually documenting the process online. So people online can see what you're doing offline. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to want to come to the next event. Make sense? If that makes sense, someone give me a thumbs up. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. All right? So now we're going to talk about the first speaker. Okay? So at these events, ignore that. That's the boat rubbing up against the dock. So ignore that squealing. Okay? So at this event, your first speaker is always going to be the host, okay? The first speaker is your host. Who's the host? Whoever house is at, okay? If I'm throwing a home event, I'm the host. If you're throwing a home event, you're the host, all right? You want to keep these events, and you want to keep each speaker super simple, and you want to keep it super short, okay? So your first speaker or the host, right, should be the person whose house the event is at, or the person who has the most people at the event. So what do I mean? Let's say I'm throwing an event, but Cassandra has 10 people at the event and I only got 2. Cassandra will be the host of the event because most of the people there came for Cassandra. So you allow her to be the host. And guys, don't get scared. If you're brand new and you're going to be hosting your first event, you're only going to talk for 1 to 2 minutes, okay? So don't think you got to learn a speech. You only got to talk for 1 to 2 minutes, all right? You don't want to lose people's attention by talking too long, because you want to make sure they're still excited, they're still enthusiastic by the time your last speaker gets on. So you as the host, your only job, okay, is to basically thank the crowd for coming out. And like I say, the crowd could be 2 people, 1 person, or 50 people. All right. But you definitely want to thank them for coming out. So the host is going to basically, remember, music is playing the whole time. Now you're ready to start the event. You turn the music off, and the host, the first speaker, goes up and says, I just want to thank you guys so much for coming out. Right. And I want you to thank the person who invited you here, because they either like you, trust you, or respect you to invite you here today. And I know you could be doing anything on this night, but you decided to come here. So I really want to thank you for coming out. Guys, here's what this does, okay? This allows people to see that you appreciate them. This ain't just you trying to sell them something. You are actually grateful and have gratitude that they took time out of their lives to come, all right? Another thing that you want to let people know is that, whoever invited you really likes you or really thinks highly of you to invite you here, because what we have here is kind of like a frat or a sorority, right? The only way you can get in is if you're invited, and you're invited. So you want to make them feel good that they showed up, all right? You want to make them feel good for coming. So you want to make sure that as the host, when you go up, you are enthusiastic and you're passionate. You don't want to do this. Hey guys, thank you so much for coming. Glad you can make it. No, that's not exciting. Okay? It's boring. You want to be enthusiastic. It's contagious. You're in control of the vibe, okay? Your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you're contagious, if you're enthusiastic and that excitement and that energy is contagious, guess what's going to happen to your guests? They're going to get excited. All right? So you want to be excited and have passion. Remember this. 80% of people make decisions based on emotion. Only 20% is logic. So people make decisions because of what they feel, not because of what they're thinking. It's based on the feeling. So you got to set that feeling of emotion, of excitement, okay, of enthusiasm. All right? You want to thank them for coming out. So if you're writing notes, the host, your job is to be excited. You want to thank your guests for coming out. Then write this down. STV. Okay? Not STD, guys. STV. As the host, in 1 minute, all you want to do is share your story, share your testimony, and share the vision. What do I mean? You just want to tell the people, listen, hi, thank you guys so much for coming out. My name's Sophia. I'm originally from the Bahamas. I live here in Fort Lauderdale. And since I've got involved with Novate, I've been able to make residual income. I've been able to travel more than I've ever traveled in my life. I've been able to connect with some amazing people. And, the vision that I have since being involved with this company is that I want to change and inspire and impact as many lives as possible. That's it. You don't have to go on to this big, long spiel. That's it. Okay? You just want to share your story, share your testimony, share your vision. Guys, all of this should happen in under 2 minutes. Okay? Then you just go ahead and edify and pass it on to the second speaker. What does edify mean? Edify basically means to build up. Okay? You don't want to just say, now, thank you guys for coming. I'm going to invite my boy. Here's my boy. Here's my boy, Daryl. And then walk off. The people are going to be like, who's Daryl and why do I care? Why is he here? Right? If you invited me, who's this guy? You want to edify them, okay? You want to do it correctly. You want to say something like, listen, man, I'm so glad you guys were able to come out and right now, Daryl Smith, I mean, this man is killing it in the business right now. He's helping a ton of people improve their credit scores. He's helping a ton of people, in his local area, in this local area, make money. And I'm just blessed and honored that he's here tonight to speak with you guys for a few minutes. Daryl, and then Daryl comes up. You edified him, okay? You made your guests care why they should want to even listen to him. You want to let them know that he's having success. He's helping people. You want to edify properly. The reason this is so important, guys, is because this allows your second speaker to not have to come up there and talk about themselves. Because then they're going to sound arrogant. Nothing's going to suck more than if, someone edifies me or doesn't edify me and say, we got Sophia Lightbourne here. And then I got to walk up and say, hi, guys, my name's Sophia. I've been in the business. I've been making money with Nove for a while. I've been able to help thousands. No one wants to talk about themselves. That's the purpose of edification. You talk about the speaker so they don't have to talk about themselves. Okay? So as the host, guys, remember, keep it short, keep it simple. 1 to 2 minutes. You're going to be excited. You're going to thank your guests for coming out. You're going to share your testimony, and your vision. And then you're going to edify and pass it on to the second speaker. All right? That's the host. Now we're going to move on to speaker number 2. Speaker number 2, guys, is going to be someone physically at the event. Okay? Some of you guys I know are building on your own. Don't worry about it. We got Skype. We got Zoom. We got FaceTime. You can connect someone else to be your second and third speaker. That's okay. All right? Don't worry about that. If you don't have someone in your area, that's fine. Just reach out to your upline sponsor. We're going to help you. All right? But the structure remains the same. After you pass it on to your second speaker, right? Here's the second speaker is only going to talk for about 5 to 10 minutes max. Remember, guys, we're trying to keep this thing an hour. We don't want to make these some super long events because guess what? People aren't going to be excited to come. But if they can stay short, informative, exciting, good vibes, people will come and people will invite their friends to the next one. So the second speaker, the goal of the second speaker, okay, is going to be to share 5 stories and basically share a little bit about the products. Now, don't worry if you don't have anyone there. We've got videos. We've got tools that you can play at the event, right? But every person who's speaker number 2 has to share 5 stories. Okay? Write these down. You got to share your story. You got to share your upline story. You got to share an economic story. And I'll tell you what each of these mean in a second. You want to share an industry story. And you want to share our team and the company's story. Okay? So your story, the upline story, an economic story, an industry story, and then a team and company story. Now, here's how these things go. Your story, guys, remember, you're not up there all night. So these are 1, 2, 3 sentences, okay? What's your story? Your story is just basically how Nove or IOU has changed your life. It can be as simple as the education that you've been learning about finances. The tools that you've been able to plug into to be able to build your credit or eliminate debt. Just becoming more financially literate, or just connecting with a group of people who are able to make you improve and better your best. Guys, it doesn't have to be that you're making $1 million. That's all right. Just be real. What's your story? What made you get involved, and how has your life changed since you've been involved? All right? It can be a product story, a testimony, whatever it is. That's what you want to share for your story. Then you want to move on to your upline story, okay? You just want to share really quickly who got you involved and how they got you involved, right? You can share, I met this lady, I met this Nicole Carrington right here in the Denver area, and she's a mom of 2 beautiful girls, and I was able to see how she was able to raise her daughters and be a full-time mom and didn't have to always clock into a job. And that really intrigued me, and she was helping a lot of other moms do the same thing. And that's what made me get involved. That's it. That's your upline story. Simple. You just want people to know that this is bigger than you. Okay? This is bigger than you. The third story you want to talk about is an economic story. What do I mean? Guys, remember this. People have a greater fear of loss than a desire for gain. I'll repeat that. People fear loss more than they desire to gain or grow. So what you want to do with an economic story is you basically want to give them a wake-up call. You want to let them know what's the world we're living in. People are drowning in debt. There's a financial crisis right now, right? People have student loans up to here, right? We could talk about the fact that the government is on shutdown right now, and people don't know when they're going to get their next paycheck. People who work for the government. And now is the time, to really start to bet on yourself. Now is the time when you should have your own business. You want to share some type of economic story to make people aware of what's happening around them. Okay? So you want to make them aware, and you want to give them a wake-up call. Guys, the reason these stories are so important is because this. Stories sell, facts tell. People ain't want to hear a lot of facts, but they relate and remember stories. So when you start to tell them stories, that's going to be the things that's going to help them to relate. Okay? So that's the third story, your economic story. Fourth story is you want to talk about the industry. You want to talk about the network marketing industry. Guess what? Affiliate marketing. It's one of the largest industries in the world. One fact when I was at my first event that made me say, I want to do this, was when they said that this industry creates more millionaires and 6-figure earners than any other industry on the planet. That's all I needed to hear. See, a lot of people aren't aware, right? It's lack of information. It's ignorance to information. Guys, my favorite pen just fell in the water. Right? Lack of information is what kind of keeps people from moving forward because they just don't know. So our job is to tell them these stories. So an industry story is, telling them about how network marketing creates more 6-figure and millionaires than any other industry in the world. Right? You want to talk to them a little bit about the power of word of mouth advertising. Right now is a great time to show them the Bird Box analogy. Everyone in this whole world watched the movie Bird Box because everyone posted it on social media, but no one got paid. All right? So you can show them the power of word of mouth advertising. All right? You want to show them that network marketing or affiliate marketing is a better way. It's not perfect, but it's a great way to start to gain some passive income. You want to show people or share with them that, you want to have a plan in place where you have your money work for you, or else you will work for money for the rest of your life. You've just got to, these are the stories you want to tell. And remember, guys, these are 2-minute stories. All right? This is not a long, drawn-out thing. You just want to throw some nuggets out there at them. And guess what? The only way you're going to get good at telling these stories is by practicing these stories. So you may have to sit in the mirror. You record yourself. Right? You want to record yourself. Every Facebook Live I do, after I do it, I watch it back a few times because I see what I can do better. And that's how I've got better at doing lives. And it's the same thing with presentations. You want to keep presenting, record yourself, watch it back. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes permanent. All right? And the final story you want to share is this team and our company's story. You could just let them know you're in the best team in the world, right? You've never seen anything like this. This company is something like you've never seen before. You can say we have a CEO that's committed and dedicated to creating 100 millionaires by 2024. Someone who's selfless and goes above and beyond to make sure he's giving you the tools to succeed. You could talk about being around a group of people that hold you accountable and force you to level up. People who want to see you succeed and people who motivate and encourage you every single day to keep going after your goals. Right? You just want to share that because, guys, most people don't have that in their lives. Most people are discouraging people from going after their goals. So by sharing that, you're just making them more aware of what we've got here. Okay? You want to talk about our team trips. You want to talk about the fact that we already went to the Bahamas. We went to Vegas, right? We're helping people. We're making money, and we're having a blast at the same time. These are things people want, so you got to share those stories. All right? So you want to practice these stories. Do it over and over and over again. All right? Sit in the mirror and practice. Or just keep having events. And every event, I promise you're going to get better and better and better. All right. I want us to get into the habit of telling your story as often as you can. Start everyone you meet, tell them your story in 2 minutes or less. It's practice. Okay. Who cares if they don't want to hear it? It's practice for you. All right. You get good at it. Then you're going to realize that ignorance on fire. Remember this. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. That's heavy, y'all. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. What does that mean? That means that you don't have to be perfect, right? You don't have to know every single thing. You don't have to know it all. But if you go out here and be on fire and you're just out here sharing the plan, telling the stories, having events, you're going to get way more results than a person who waits forever to get it perfect. So we got to start just taking action. All right? Guys, the reason I'm taking my time to do this training today is one thing. If we all as a team create this culture and we get great at doing these events and telling these stories, I guarantee you we're going to kill the business. I guarantee you a lot of us going to make 6 figures this year. But these are the things we got to master. We got to master the skills, right? Remember, mindset plus skill set. We already have the mindset here. Now we've got to start to develop the skill set. And these are the skills that you need. And these ain't hard, guys. It's telling 5 stories, all right? It's buying some water and some chips, okay? It's just getting out of your fear. Remember, fear means false evidence appearing real. Fear is all mental. Fear is not real, guys. So everyone feels fear. You can never say, hey, I don't want to ever be scared. That doesn't happen. You just got to be willing to do what's required in spite of fear. That's what separates successful people from unsuccessful people, is that successful people do it scared. Unsuccessful people too scared to try. You feel me? So you got to get good at this. All right? So those are the 5 stories that the speaker's gonna share. If you're comfortable enough, right? If you're level 2 or higher, then you can go ahead and share the products, okay? That's what you want to have connected to the TV when we go ahead and share, the debt elimination tool, talk about the credit service, okay? Talk about our business. But what I would recommend for most people, okay, watching this video, most of the new people, is just show the video, okay? Show the video. And we've got a quick 5-minute affiliate program video that you can share, all right? And remember, guys, you want to make sure that most times, people coming to your home event, it shouldn't be their first time seeing the business. They should have seen a video. They should have already been on a 3-way. They should have been exposed before, so that the home meeting is just to kind of give them more information. All right? You don't really want your home event to be their first exposure. It's okay if it is, but ideally, you want them to have seen something before, and this is really just to close the deal for you. All right? Once you show the video or you show the little 5-minute affiliate program video, then the second speaker goes ahead and edifies your final speaker, okay? And what's edify? Bring them up. Let them know this person is killing the business, okay? This person has been making a residual income for years or for months. Or this person has been involved with the company for the past year, the past 18 months, the past 4 years. Guys, the final speaker, guys, and I'm almost done. I think this is some good information. So I know this training is a little long, but guys, this is critical, all right? And make sure you watch this video again, because you're going to want to take notes and make sure that you're writing down this information. This is going to explode our team. The final speaker, you want them to at least be a level 2 or above, okay? You want this to be someone who's knowledgeable, someone who's credible, someone who's making some money, all right? Making money in the business, someone who has a testimony. You want to use people like Mr. Mark Bates because he has an 820 credit score. You want to use someone like Mr. Shields because he's been making money, just $1,000 months. You want to use someone like myself who's been in the business, for a long time and has been making money consistently. You want to use a Mr. Jamel Jordan because he knows 100% of the information. He's been making money for a long time, okay? You want to have someone level 2 or above. This final speaker is also only going to speak for 5 to 10 minutes. Guys, we're not doing these long meetings, okay? We're going to keep it short, simple, but it's going to be effective, all right? Your last speaker should be the most knowledgeable or the most credible person. And believe it or not, guys, it's going to be to your benefit if you use someone who's not at the actual event. Like if you can actually get someone on FaceTime, get someone on a Zoom, where your guests can see that this thing is real. Like, wow, this person is connected with people all over the country. Think about how cool it is if Mo is in Virginia doing a home meeting, right? And now he's edifying, his sponsor in Miami, and he beams me in. That's going to be super powerful for the guests to say, wow, This is bigger than Mo. This is bigger than Virginia. This is global. This is nationwide, right? So that's going to be powerful. And what you want to do is just make sure you schedule with your sponsor or one of the leaders on the team to make sure that we schedule and someone's available to close out your event. Okay? The last speaker, guys, are going to focus on 5 objections. Okay? Guys, this is so powerful. This might be the best part of this whole training. Your final speaker is going to focus on 5 objections. They're just going to come on and speak and basically paint the picture in your guest's mind that every single objection that's probably passing through their mind right now, this last speaker who's credible, who's making money, was in the same exact position they were in. But what they did is they thought a little differently, right? They did something different in order to get a different result. Now, what are those 5 objections? Guys, write these down. Everyone has the same 5 objections. They either have one of them or all of them. The first one is they say, I don't have enough money. I don't have the money. Second objection is, I don't have the time. Third objection, I don't think this is real, right? Fourth objection, they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe they can do it. And the 5th objection, they said, man, this sounds too good to be true. Guys, those are the 5 objections. You will hear those over and over and over again. So your final speaker, right? And if you're on the line and you're that final speaker, you want to make sure you write these down when you watch the replay, because you got to study this. You got to master this. And if you guys are going to be using me as your final speaker, this is exactly what I'm going to say at your event. Okay? After you edify me and introduce me, it's going to go something like this. You know, after you say, you know, this is Sophia Lightburn, based out of Miami. You know, she's been doing this for a while, you know, been making money in the business. Her goal is to help all of us have $1,000 weeks, you know, and she has the vision and the plan to make that happen. When I get on, I'm going to say, man, thank you guys so much for coming. You know, I appreciate you guys for really taking time out of your busy schedule to get to this event tonight. And it says so much about you, you know, and I know a lot of you guys, you're hearing this information, so a lot of you guys, it makes sense. To some of you, you have some reservations, you know, you want to do more research, that's fine. You know, some of you guys may be saying, you know, I don't have the money, right? And I'll be honest with you guys. If you don't have $250 right now to start a business, be honest. When will you ever have $250? I want you to remember that never let the lack of money stop you from making more money. See, when I first saw this, when I first got involved or saw Nove, just like you are at a meeting in someone's living room, I thought I didn't have the money to spare either. But my mentor asked me something that changed my life. He said, Sophie, if I pulled up in a brand new Bentley tomorrow and I said, give me $200 and this is yours, would you find the $200? I said, of course. So he said to me, he said, okay, so let me figure this out. You're trying to tell me that a car is more valued. You value a car more than you value your future. You value a car more than you value your life. Think about that. It's never about the money, guys. It's about the motivation, right? So you've got to show them how you were able to overcome not having the money too. True or true? That's powerful, guys, because keep it real. If someone pulled up to you and say, hey, here's a 2018 Mercedes-Benz. Give me $250 and you can have it. You would go borrow from Peter, Paul, your mama, your auntie, your kids to get that $250 to get that Benz. But you're not willing to find $250 to start a business that could change the rest of your life. That's the kind of things you got to make people think about when you're closing out the event. These are going to be the things that your third speaker is going to do at your event. So that's going to focus on the lack of money objection. The next objection, guys, is the lack of time, right? So I'll say something like this. Listen, I know a lot of you guys are saying, man, I'm busy with work. I'm busy with the kids. I just don't have time for this. But wouldn't you agree that we all have 24 hours in a day? We all have the same 168 hours in a week. But what's different? What differentiates successful and unsuccessful people is how they allocate their time, right? You've got to show them how you thought you didn't have the time either until you broke it down. You got to tell them things like the average person watches about 3.5 hours of TV a day. You know, most people spend time playing video games. They go into happy hour, right? You got to show them that you thought you didn't have time either until you evaluated your life and you said, guess what? I can't turn the TV off. I can skip a happy hour or two this week. I can actually apply myself to something that can change my life. So you want to show them that you felt the same way, that you didn't have the time, but you had to find the time if you were serious about changing your life, right? The third objection, where they don't think it's real. Guys, if by this point in the presentation or at this point at the meeting, they don't think it's real, that means that you haven't done a good enough job explaining the products or explaining the industry, because those things should make them believers, right? They should no longer wonder if it's real. They may just have a money or a time objection. So you want to say things like, this industry creates more millionaires and six-figure earners than any other industry on the planet, right? You want to talk about how you too saw the vision, you saw the plan at a meeting, and you didn't think it was real. You were skeptical, right? You want to paint the picture of how many stories you've seen in your life and how many lives are being affected by showing how big this thing really is. So you're covering the objections. And guys, what this is doing subconsciously in your guests' minds, these are the things they're thinking about. And now, without you even asking them anything, you're covering them before they can even have these objections. So you're removing all the excuses. You're overcoming the objection without even asking for the money yet. All right? You're removing all the barriers. All right? The fourth thing is belief, right? For the people who don't believe in themselves. You want to say something like, listen, I didn't necessarily believe I can make this happen either. But once I started to believe, right? Once I started to set goals, once I started to get involved and surround myself with people who believe bigger than me and people who are doing better than me, I started to believe I could obtain, success also if I did what they did. You want to show them that you also had that objection. You also felt like you didn't believe in yourself. But because of your environment, that changed for you. And the final objection, guys, is the, people who say, man, this just sounds too good to be true. You want to say something like, listen, when I first saw this too, I thought it was crazy. I didn't believe people were really making money from home. You want to show that you too were skeptical and you needed to do your research, and you want to tell them what it was that made you say yes. What was it that made you say this thing was really real? Was it attending an event? Was it actually, seeing someone making the money in person? You've got to say things to them like, listen, guys, if everything in life is too good to be true, then you'll never find anything that's really good enough. See, you're squashing their objections. This is what your third speaker is coming in to do. This is how you're going to close the event, because you're removing the objections that they're thinking about in their mind, and then the last speaker is going to close the event. And here's how we're going to close the events, guys. Okay? You want to have the people who are guests follow up with whoever invited them to the meeting. So you're going to say something like, after you go over all those objections, you're going to say, listen, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get back with the person that invited you here. I want you to ask them questions, all right? I want you to talk to us. I want you to chit-chat with us. And because you want to stick around and talk to people. You want to build relationships. You want to find out their experience. You want to get your questions answered. So what that does, guys, is that it doesn't get you going saying, hey, you ready to sign up? That just tells them to go ahead and talk to others, because their belief is going to be built by having other conversations. And if you have teammates there, and that's why it's important for you to have other people, if you have in your area at the event, those are people who can start to share your story, their story with them. They can say what the business has done for them. This is going to help raise your prospects' belief. All right? Then you can say something like this. So guys, go ahead, ask questions, get your questions answered. And what we're going to do is, for the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to put some music on, we're going to hang out, have a good time, and then we're going to start a fast start training on the business. All right? Anyone who wants to stick around to learn how to start to make money on the business side, I need you to stick around, and we're going to get started in about 15 minutes. That's how you close, guys. Do you see what that just did? That allows the person to feel no pressure. It's just vibe, hang out, talk to other people. And it's telling them that, listen, if you want to make money on the business side, stick around for the training we're going to have. So if someone doesn't want to make money, they're free to leave. But the people who do stay, they're ready to get started. At that point, you just handed out applications, okay? If they stay, that means they want to make money on the business side. So you just close them without even having to go for the hard, hey, you ready to get started? Right? Once they stay, you know that they want to get started. Now, when the fast start training starts, you can hand out paper applications, or the person who invited them already found out that they're ready and they're getting the application. They're getting them enrolled. So by the time the fast start training happens, when we're going to start to go over the welcome letter and go over the goal sheet, right, and help them get their customer point, that person is already enrolled in the business. All right? Guys, before I get out of here, you got to expect people to enroll. When you have these meetings, you can't be wishy-washy like, man, I hope they sign up. You've got to have an expectation that they're going to enroll. Just like this year we said we're going to have an expectation of abundance, you got to expect that everyone who showed up is going to sign up. Especially if they stay to the fast training, that means they want to make money. So that means they want to get started. You want to always book the next meeting from this meeting. So from this home event, you want to be promoting the next event. You want to be letting them know when the next event is so they can enroll. If someone gets started on the spot that night, don't let them leave your house until you schedule when they're going to host their event. And remember, as the host, being brand new, all your job is to welcome people and thank them for coming and pass them to someone else who's been in the business longer. All right? The last speaker is always going to leverage the next meeting. And guess what, guys? This is duplicatable. That means that someone can get started today and have a meeting tomorrow because all they got to do is invite and thank the people for coming out and edify the speaker. Guys, this is going to help us to win. This is going to help us to explode our business. All we've got to do is duplicate the simple system of having events, and we've got to teach this process. We want to duplicate and teach this to every single person we've got on our teams. Guys, I know I took a lot of your time. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was helpful. Make sure you drop some comments. Let me know if you got value from this. Go ahead and look at your calendar and schedule your first event. This month of January, guys, in our team, I want us to have at least 20 home events going on this month. My first event is going to be on Thursday. Come in. And then I'm having one next week on the 17th. I'm starting the culture because I don't ask you guys to do nothing I'm not willing to do. So because I want you guys to start home events, I want us as a culture to create that in IOU with part of our team. I'm going to lead by example. I'm having my first event on Thursday, and you guys know I'm going to have it documented, okay? So that you can watch and see how it went, so that you can duplicate. But I don't want you to allow fear to hold you hostage anymore. I want you to take a look at your calendar as soon as you get off of this video, pick a date, drop under this comment your date. I'm going to pencil it in. I'm willing to be everyone's final speaker, okay? I'm willing to be everyone's final speaker. Shiz Shields is ready to be everyone's final speaker. Jamel Jordan, Daryl, everyone, Nicole. We're going to go out here and crush these events for you by following this system. And guys, after you do a few events, you're going to start to rank up. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to be someone on your team's final speaker. It's all a process, but you got to trust the process. And you got to practice. You got to practice. You got to practice. All right? Let's duplicate this. Let's crush this business. Let's blow this thing out of the water because people need what we have. We just got to do a better job exposing them. Let's start getting these home meetings going, guys. I hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to y'all in the next video.